What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are working on a 2022 TRD Pro Tundra, and we are going to show you how to swap out the rear brake lines. This customer is eventually going to end up going to some longer travel suspension, and we're going to go ahead and get everything prepped for that. The rear brake lines on the 3rd Gen Tundras are really not that long, so there's not a lot of room for extra shocks. We've got our YotaMafia brake lines here, and these are stainless steel braided. They are DOT certified and approved. We went with some red crimps and some red line. Just since this customer likes red and it's already got some red accents, we thought it would look really nice. And yeah, we're ready to install. These lines here are 13 inches long, and the stock lines are about 10.5 inches long. So this is going to allow us to get some longer travel rear shocks and not be worried about overextending our stock rear brake lines.
All right, so what you're going to get when you order a brake line set from us is going to look like this. It's going to be a nice little package. It's going to have all your clips ready to go. Of course, front, rear, different applications. It's going to be a little different, but this is mainly what you're going to get. Like I said, you're going to have 4 of the clips for the new lines. And of course, we also have the lines themselves. Super strong braided cable with a nice insulation on the outside. And of course, the hand tools that you're going to use are really simple. You're going to have a box end 10mm as well as a line wrench, 10mm wrench, which will actually help in the disassembly process. A 19mm stubby, which is actually for the fittings on the new lines. And then some pliers to help remove the stock clips, and some adjustable channel locks to install the new clips for the brake lines. All right, guys, we got the truck up on the lift. We're gonna start the process of doing the rear brake lines. As you can see, these are the stock lines still, and this is a Westcott kit installed on this truck currently. Left side is a little shorter than the right side. Still has a little bit of slack in it, but not what we'd like to see for a little bit of variance. So what we're going to do when we replace these is give a little bit of length on that way, and it's also in preparation for the customer to move up to the next stage in the future rather than doing just the Westcott kit, maybe doing some long travel or mid travel. This opens this up so that it's not a problem later on when he does decide to do that. So basically we're going to start with removing, with the line wrench, the factory fittings. So you have your line here, and then you have the brake line here. We're going to be replacing these guys, and then there's 2 more down here. Okay, first step we're going to do is I'm going to start with the left line first, and the axle mounted section of the line. And I'll do this for a reason. Once I get that free, I'm going to allow that stock line to basically drip into my catch pan that's underneath the axle. That way you try to make as little as mess as possible. So let's go ahead and do that now. All I'm doing here is basically just cracking this free, and then I'm going to snug it back so it doesn't continue to drip. And I'm going to break the top one free and do the same thing. Okay, now they're ready to go. And next step, now that those are just barely hand tight, I'm going to come up with some pliers, and I'm going to take the stock retention clips and go ahead and remove those. Okay. We're going to break this line just free that we had finger tight. Go ahead and remove this. And like I said before, once this is free, I'm going to take and let the line just drip into my pan. And then I'm going to move the top one and do the same thing. Stock line is free. I'm going to reverse the process on this side. I'm going to start with the one on the truck. And we're looking just a finger tight at this time, not cinch anything down. Okay. Okay, so now we're finger tight. Then we're going to move to the new clips that come with the kit. Start with the top one there. Get it started by hand and then use the tool. Okay. And again on the other one. And then last step, go back to the line wrench, and then the 19 that we talked about before is going to hold the fitting in place while we snug the line up. Okay, so we've got the left line on, already cinched down with the clips. It's time just to repeat the process on the right side. And then once we're done, we're going to do a brake bleed procedure. There's a few different ways that you can do this. Simple as having a friend pump the brakes inside the cab while you're out here with the bleeder screw. It's easy, but mistakes can happen, miscommunication between your friends, maybe 1, 2 little mini beers. What we do here is we use a air tool system, which actually uses air pressure from a compressor to create a vacuum on the system. And that ensures that if there's any little amount of air in that system, it's going to come out with that fluid so that we don't have an air intrusion, and then you're wondering why it's taken 3-4 hours to bleed brakes and you're going through 3 or 4 different bottles of brake fluid. So those are different ways that you can do it. We'll show you how we do it here. Okay, so we're set up here. We're going to start doing a brake bleed procedure. This is what I meant by an automatic or an air assisted that creates a vacuum out of this hose. So what I'm going to do is hook up the bleeder to the valve, crack the valve once I have the bleeder going, or the bleeder machine going, and then we're going to watch and make sure that we're getting all the air out of the system as much as possible. And there you can see the air bubbles are starting to pull out. That sound change indicates that there's a good vacuum. We're going to do this for at least 30 seconds to a minute. Always want to make sure that you go back and check your fluid level. You don't want to suck so much down that you're actually getting air through the other side of the massive reservoir. And of course, once we get no air coming out, then we're going to close the valve. And then basically bleed procedure is complete on that caliper. You're going to repeat that on all 4 corners to make sure that you don't have any air in the systems. It's highly unlikely that you'll have any air intrusion in the front system if you're dealing with just the rear, but you want to make sure that you don't have any air pockets in the system, especially with modern day ABS systems. Okay guys, we've just finished up the brake line installation. Brake bleeds procedure's already done. The last thing to do is go ahead and take it for a test drive. Before you do anything, if you're doing this on your own, make sure you have a firm, good pedal. I've seen a lot of accidents happen. Pedal goes away, you're surprised, things happen. We don't want that. If you have any comments, questions, anything, comment down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit us back up for follower instruction videos. Have a good one.